the co-op model has at its heart the idea that it's sort of one big happy family. But as we all know, in the sort of film business, in your sector, there is some kind of mogul element to it. There's some sort of maverick inspiration, someone who insists on getting his way. What's your hunch? Do you think it's possible to have good films being made by the sort of equal shares idea, or do you think it needs that driving force?
Well, I don't know, because it depends whether you're talking about equal shares of decision making or equal shares of ownership, i.e. where can the film be exploited, or equal shares of revenue that comes from it, or quite what you mean by equal. I mean, you're right. Yeah, there needs to be leadership.
I think I can answer that actually, because I was kind of involved in a co-op for a feature film last year. It was in a film school, and everyone was involved, and the whole thing collapsed because there were way too many egos, opinions, characters in the room. Film is a dictatorship, and to think anything other is naive. Now, I do think actually that a co-op can work. It just has to be clear how the boundaries are drawn about who has control. But I have no problem in concept with everybody sharing in the spoils of all our hard work. I don't know a filmmaker who has a problem with that. That's the irony. So much of what I hear is all talking about the same thing, but it just seems it's the words, the language that is being used that is creating polarised views.
Okay.
I think we're speaking about the same thing.
All right, thank you. Martin, very quick word on that.
Yep, I agree with what Chris just said. I mean, I put co-ops, I put co-ops out there, so I'm to blame for it, but it isn't some, pie-in-the-sky, group hug, lovey-dovey fantasy. I mean, co-ops are just organisations, but the important thing is they have rules. And of course there will be arguments, but the point is you've got rules for deciding how you're going to deal with those arguments when they happen. I mean, we're all grown up. People will fall out, disagreements will happen, things will move on, unforeseen circumstances will arise. What I perceive at the moment is that the sort of collaborative projects we have right now, which are unstructured groups of friends, there is infinitely more scope for really unpleasant breakups, not just around the project, but for friendships to come to an end. Because there's no structure there for managing the differences when they arise. A co-op gives you a structure within which to have the argument, have the dispute, reach a resolution and move on.
What we're going to do now is we're going to invite Chris to speak for 5 minutes, and then we're going to go to Benetta for 5 minutes, and then we will have time, I promise, for more questions. Sorry to those of you who wanted to ask something and haven't had a minute yet.
Okay, blimey, I don't know what to say actually. I've got loads of notes and I've kind of lost the plot because everybody's got so very passionate. I do agree with most of what I've heard this evening. I posted on my blog before I came to this event and put down my thoughts. And when I made my last film, I made a lofty goal of saying I'm going to go for the Oscars. And we got Oscar shortlisted, which was extraordinary. And on the day we didn't get the nomination, I got 10 people who wrote on my blog, well done, good effort. On this blog, I've had nearly 70 responses. Right, so that gives you an idea of just how passionate people feel about it. But the sad thing is, what I see is very polarised viewpoints of people who are misinformed, opinionated, have pre-existing ideas about what the other person is going to be doing, and then just kind of chucking rocks at each other. And it's getting nowhere. And what we need to do is we need to give some of our position up, just a bit of it, but some of it, in order that we can come to the middle and actually make something that works. What Martin is suggesting is fantastic for me, about 90% of it. Now that might need Martin to give up 10% of what he wants. I'm prepared to give up 10% of what I want to find that, but we've got to get to that place, because right now there's a lot of hostility around this issue. I can tell you from my experience as a filmmaker and somebody who connects with independent filmmakers daily, the kind of filmmakers that come to me are people who have no resources, no way in, no idea, but they just have a burning desire to do it. And here's what they're doing. They're buying Canon 5Ds, they're buying a training DVD from Philip Bloom, they're going out and making a horror movie, and they're going to take it to Cannes. And who should say anything other than that? I mean, really, why shouldn't they? What right does any human being have to say to another human being, you shouldn't pursue a dream? As long as completely agree, health and safety, insurance, all of that stuff, nobody in the room is disagreeing with that. But I absolutely fundamentally believe that as human beings we have a right to express ourselves and inspire people around us to do the same thing. Now, I'm tired of... I got the best crew that I could. I paid them nothing. I made them a promise. I said, you come and work on my film, I will do everything in my power to win an Oscar. Right? We were the only British film to be Oscar shortlisted. Every single person involved in that production is a very close friend, and those are the people I didn't know beforehand. Everybody has milked the fact that we've won 40 awards, and yeah, I admit, I sold 1,000 DVDs myself, and I used all of that money to promote the film and get it out there. Now, let's just move away from national minimum wage for a moment. Philosophically, there's a lot of people in the room that would have a problem with that. What I find extraordinary is that this room is full of people who are speaking for a group of people where there's virtually no one present. That's what I find extraordinary. I mean, you know, let's just think about parallels in the global perspective now about when large entities go and speak on behalf of other people and go and do rash things because it's the right thing to do. It really bothers me and it worries me. So let's please all stop chucking rocks at each other and acknowledge film is changing. I mean, you know, I have no idea where filmmaking is going to be next week, let alone in 5 years' time. We are in a massive evolution that I don't think anybody can really get their head around. And just as an example, I don't want to bring copyright up, but I always use this as a really great example of how the world has changed. Michael Jackson's Thriller is on YouTube with a bunch of inmates dancing to it. Many of you will have seen it. What an extraordinary copyright violation. And yet it's still there. That is a sign of how the world is changing. So we have to think beyond these issues. This national minimum wage is a problem right now. There are bigger problems ahead of us, and we're in a boat together, guys, and right now we're going around in a circle, and we've all got to go in the same direction, because if we don't go in the same direction, not only are we going to keep going around in circles, we're going to scuttle the boat and sink. So let's put our differences aside and find the common ground. And really, guys at the extremes, you know, put those differences aside. And I'm speaking to the filmmakers in the room as well, of which I am one. You know, give it up. It's not that important. It's really ultimately about protecting ourselves, protecting our industry, and having a future. I don't know what else to say. I'm done.